There's a rule buried in your driving license that quietly switches off on your 70th birthday, and it decides which motorhomes you're allowed to drive for the rest of your life. If you passed your test before 1997, you can drive motorhomes up to 7.5 tons. But at 70, that right vanishes unless you pass a medical, fill in forms, and repeat it every 3 years. Skip it, and anything over 3,500 kilos is off limits. Here's the good news. The smartest motorhomes for older drivers all sit under that weight. Low steps, no ladders, easy to park. And because they're deeply unfashionable, nobody's buying them. 7 of them starting at £8,000. Number 1 was practically designed for you. Let's start with the smallest motorhome Britain ever fell out of love with. The Romahome, built on a Citroën Berlingo, barely bigger than a family hatchback, and discontinued around 2014 when Citroën changed the base van and killed the whole line. The van life crowd wouldn't be seen dead in one, which is exactly why you should look. Because think about what actually matters when your knees aren't what they were. The Romahome sits at car height. No climbing, no clambering, no habitation step that feels like scaling a wall. It parks in a normal supermarket space. It drives like the car you already own, and the single-berth R10 version claims around 62 miles per gallon, economy that makes modern motorhomes look embarrassing. Inside a R20 you still get a bed, a hob, a fridge, even a cassette toilet in the later ones. It's a motorhome shrunk to the size of your comfort zone. The deal? Used Romahomes change hands between £8,000 and £18,000, and the older ones sit at the bottom of that range. They're mostly manual, and pre-2015 diesels won't be welcome in London's ULEZ, so if you live near a clean air zone, check the year carefully. But for a solo traveller, or a couple who want the simplest possible way back onto the road, nothing this easy costs this little. Now the genuine bargain basement, the Compass Avantgarde. A name most buyers under 60 have never heard, from a badge that faded into the Elddis family years ago. Early 2000 as examples on the Peugeot Boxer sell for £13,000 to £17,000, proper coach-built motorhomes, with a full kitchen, a washroom and a lounge, for less than half what the equivalent Swift or Bailey fetches. Later ones from 2007 to 2009 still only reach the mid-20s. Why so cheap? Because it's the wrong badge, the wrong decade and the wrong shape. Buyers today want grey campervans that look like stealth bombers. The Avantgarde looks like a caravan bolted to a van, which frankly it is, but look at the layout with senior eyes. 2-berth versions give you a settee lounge you can actually stretch out in, an end washroom with a door, no midnight gymnastics, and everything on one level. Under 6.5 meters, it fits a standard campsite pitch and won't terrify you down a Devon lane. The warning, at this age, the engine is not the problem, the body is. These are timber-framed boxes, and damp is what kills them. Bring a damp meter, press every corner, and walk away from anything soft. Find a dry one, and this is the cheapest full-sized motorhome on this list, £14,000. That's where usable Swift Sundances from the mid-2000s start, and unlike the Compass, this one wears a badge everybody recognizes. The Sundance was Swift's volume seller, built in the thousands at their Yorkshire factory. Fiat Ducato underneath, the same 2.3 diesel fitted to half the delivery vans in Europe, which means any garage in Britain can fix one, and parts cost van money, not motorhome money. So why is nobody buying them? Fashion. The classic Sundance has an overcab bed, that big lump over the windscreen, and overcab motorhomes are about as trendy right now as a fax machine. Buyers scroll straight past. Here's the trick for older buyers. Ignore the overcab bed entirely. Plenty of Sundance layouts let you sleep downstairs in the lounge and use the overcab purely as a giant storage loft. You get the unfashionable discount without ever touching the ladder. 2004 to 2007 examples run £14,000 to £21,000. Step up to 2012 or 2013 and you're at £33,000, so the sweet spot is the older end. Bought carefully. Same rule as ever. The Fiat will outlive you, the box might not. Insist on habitation check history, test everything on gas, 12 volts and mains, and check the seams around that overcab. It's the first place water gets in. Here's a strange one. In 2020, Swift quietly retired the Bessacarr name after decades on British driveways. The badge died, and the prices died with it. That's the entire opportunity. A Bessacarr E-series is a Swift underneath. Same factory, same Fiat and Peugeot mechanicals, but positioned as the posher, more comfortable brand. Deeper cushions, warmer interiors, a bit more wood. the motorhome equivalent of a comfortable armchair. And because the badge no longer exists, buyers assume it's an orphan. It isn't. Every mechanical part is shared with millions of vans, and the habitation side is standard British fare that any workshop can service. Used two-berth E-series from 2008 to 2012 sit around £22,000 to £28,000, and tired but honest examples occasionally dip under £10,000. Even a 2015 example with an automatic gearbox, rare gold at this price, was recently listed at £44,999, still far under what the equivalent Living Swift badge commands. For seniors, the E-series layouts are the point. Low-profile versions with no overcab, end washrooms, and lounges built for sitting, not posing. The known weakness: damp in the lower panels. Check low, check the corners, and be ruthless. A dry Bessacarre is quietly one of the most comfortable retirement motorhomes money can buy, precisely because nobody remembers it exists. The Bailey approach solves a problem most buyers don't even know they have until their 70th birthday letter arrives from the DVLA. Remember that license trap from the intro? Over 3,500 kilos, you need a C1 entitlement, a medical every 3 years, forms in the post. Under 3,500 kilos, you just carry on driving on your ordinary license, same as your car. Bailey engineered the approach for exactly that line. Built from 2011 on the Peugeot Boxer with their Alutech body shell, aluminium construction on a lightweight Alkeo chassis. It stays under 3,500 kilos with payload to spare. No medical, no forms, no worry. And the Alutech shell brings a second gift. Far less timber in the body than the older vans on this list, which means far less for damp to rot. Not immune, nothing is, but a meaningful step safer. Two-berth SE models from 2012 and 2013 sell for £27,000 to £32,000. That's not pocket change, but it's a modern feeling, light steering, easy driving motorhome from a trusted British name at a price the fashionable brands can't touch, because everyone chasing campervans forgot the approach existed. Check the seals, check the service history, and check the weight plate matches what the seller claims. Then enjoy a motorhome your license will never argue with. Every motorhome so far has one flaw for older drivers: a clutch pedal. Now we fix that. The Auto Trail Tribute F62 is a low-profile coach built on the Ford Transit. 5.99 meters, under 3,500 kilos, ordinary license, and it's available with a proper automatic gearbox. On the 170 horsepower Transit engine, no clutch, no stalling on hill starts, no aching left knee in traffic. Then Auto Trail added the feature that quietly changes everything: an electric drop-down bed. Press a button, the double bed descends from the ceiling over the lounge. No ladder, no climbing over your partner, no making up sofa cushions every night at 9 o'clock. For anyone with a dodgy hip, this one feature is worth more than any badge. Low step-in end washroom, a lounge with actual daylight, and because it's Euro 6, it drives into London, Birmingham, or Bristol without paying a penny in clean air charges. The only van on this list that's completely future-proof. The honesty bit? This is the expensive one. New they were around £48,000 to £50,000, and used 2020 automatics still sit in the high £40 000s because the smart money holds on to them. It's here because it's dirt cheap compared to what it does. An automatic ULEZ-proof, ladder-free motorhome undercuts every fashionable rival by tens of thousands. If the budget stretches, stretch it. If it doesn't, number one is waiting. Picture the perfect motorhome for an older couple. Under 6 meters, so it parks anywhere. Under 3,500 kilos, so your ordinary license covers it forever. A proper washroom across the back with a door that shuts. 2 long sofas that become a huge bed, or 2 singles, no climbing involved. Now the detail nobody else offers. From 2017, Elddis built the Accordo on the special low-line Peugeot Boxer chassis, and in doing so, they eliminated the entrance step entirely. You don't climb into an Accordo. You walk in, like walking into your kitchen. That is not a small thing. Ask anyone with a replaced hip what the habitation step means at the end of a long day. Elddis solved it, and the market barely noticed because the Accordo is a sensible white box in a world chasing matte grey camper vans. The numbers make it embarrassing. New, these listed at £44,000 to £52,000. A 2015 example recently sat at £32,995. Its AutoQuest siblings run cheaper still. £28,000 to £30,000 for 2010 to 2012, and early ones from £14,995. Post 2016 examples are Euro 6, so the clean air zones can't touch them either. Payload is generous, over 650 kilos, so you can pack for a month in Scotland without going illegal. The steering is light, the mirrors are huge, and the whole van shrinks around you within 10 minutes of driving. The one gap, most are manual. If you need an automatic, that's the F62 at number 2. If you can live with a gearbox, this is the finest senior-friendly motorhome bargain in Britain, hiding in plain sight because it never once tried to be cool. 7 motorhomes, everyone under 3,500 kilos, which means everyone stays on your ordinary license, at any age, with no medicals and no forms. But 2 rules decide whether you win at this end of the market. First, before you view anything, check your license. If you're near 70 and want anything heavier, that C1 renewal needs a medical before your birthday. Miss it, and the DVLA takes the entitlement away quietly. Second, the engine is never the risk, the box is. Damp kills more cheap motorhomes than mechanical failure ever will. Take a damp meter, press every corner, demand the habitation history, and test everything on gas, 12 volts and mains. A seller who won't let you. Walk away. There are plenty more out there. Fashion is paying £70,000 for a grey van. Wisdom is buying the one with no step, no ladder, and no license trouble for a third of the money. If this saved your knees, your license, or your savings, subscribe. Next week, I'm covering the motorhome mistakes that catch out older buyers and how to avoid every one. Drop a comment if you've owned any of these 7. I read every single one.